Kind of a more serious video today. I recently started taking driver's ed, so when I go to actually have lessons in the cars, I've had to explain to my driving teachers a little bit about my anxiety, and it kind of got me realizing that even though people know I have it, they don't really know what it is. So this video is kind of going to explain what anxiety, at least for me, is. Basically, it's a disorder of the brain. It's like your brain produces a different amount of chemicals, so you can't, or I can't really handle situations in the same way other people can. When it started, I was convulsed. I'd go into convulsions. Not a seizure. I was like perfectly aware of what was happening, and it didn't hurt or anything, but I'd shake, and it'd get sometimes so bad where I'd be lifting myself off the bed. So, you know, we went to doctors, and at first my parents were very much like, well, you need to just get over it. You know, you need to face your fears and get over it. But I knew that wasn't just what it is, because I'd never had that problem before. So eventually one of my therapists ended up kind of convincing my parents that medication would be probably the best way for me to go. And it's helped a lot. I mean, I don't have like that kind of panic attack anymore. Not to say I don't have panic attacks, but it's not in that violent sense. So, I mean, that's definitely good. Another thing you should know if you have friends with anxiety or know anybody who has it, a lot of times anxiety and depression kind of come hand in hand. It has for my case, it has for other friends that I know who have anxiety. It's all kind of in the same boat. For me, I got lucky, and my medication can also work as an antidepressant. So when I start to show signs of depression, we just kind of up my dose, and that usually helps. It's a very emotionally and physically tiring disorder. A lot of people don't understand that. I mean, not every day, because I'm home a lot, but a lot of days to do simple things for me are a really big deal. And I know people lose patience with me. I know my family, I'm sure my friends kind of get frustrated because it's like it's the same thing over and over again. I get sick a lot, you know, and I totally understand. I have friends, really close friends, who have anxiety as well, and I know what it's like to get frustrated with them for, you know, being upset about something that seems really small and trivial to you, or not understanding why they're so freaked out or having a panic attack over nothing. I get that, but at the same time I also understand that it's not something you can help. There isn't any like magical words that you can say to instantly make yourself better. You know, you kind of have to work through it, and sometimes it doesn't happen. You know, the panic attack comes and you have to just wait until you calm down. And if that, you know, if the only way to calm yourself down is to get out of that situation, then there isn't really much you can do. There are definitely cases where, you know, you need to work through it, like going to school or having a job. Those are things that, you know, provided me a lot of difficulty. I missed the first week of school for a few years because I'd freak out and panic. But you can't just not go to school. You know, you need to go. So once I got used to it anyway, it wasn't as bad. But yeah, and I mean, especially for me, well, like my hobby, aside from, you know, like cosplaying and stuff, is horseback riding. And I get nervous and panicky every time I go to the barn. I'm quite scared of horses. Despite how much I love them, they do freak the shit out of me. But, you know, I work through that because I want to be there and I want to ride them despite the fact that they, you know, cause me to panic. That's just, you know, that's my own personal issue that I work through. And I know, you know, other friends and people, you know, work through it to do things they love. I mean, I don't really know where I'm going with this video. I can't give any sort of, like, doctor's point of view on what it is. I just kind of, you know, would like people to just be a little more understanding about it. It's, you know, it's a really common disorder. A lot of people who have it think that they're the only ones, but that's not the case. People, you know, everywhere suffer from anxiety and depression and all that kind of stuff, you know, daily. So it's completely normal. And I mean, if you feel like you might have anxiety or depression, I strongly advise you go see a doctor. You're not alone. I know everybody says that, but you're really not. And it's not just going to magically get itself better. Sometimes you will need help of, you know, medications, therapy, all that kind of stuff. You know, there are things out there, there are people out there that will help you. You know, I know as someone who lives with anxiety, you know, who has struggled with depression, who has, you know, had thoughts of suicide, you know, I've been there. I've walked down that road. And, you know, you're not alone. There are people, there are things, you know, just don't cause any more harm to yourself than what's necessary. We're kind of getting a little off track. But yeah, no, basically, just try to be, you know, as understanding as you can. I know you get frustrated. It's hard not to get frustrated in those kind of situations when you're dealing with someone freaking out about something that you can't view yourself as, you know, scary or something worth of being anxious over. And I definitely, you know, I thank my parents for being as cooperative and understanding as they have been. And, you know, my friends who have to deal with this, and they're very supportive and understanding as well. That means a lot to me. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, having anxiety and depression, probably the worst thing you can do is be alone. You're definitely gonna want somebody to be there for you. Even though I personally don't really like to talk about my issues, I know that I have people who will listen and who will help me if I go to them. And that is such a big deal for someone like me. You know, people, I think, don't realize how much they help just by being there. Yeah, if I sound kind of weird, I'm really tired. But I felt like this video had to be made. Yeah. I know it didn't really have much of a point, and we kind of strayed around, but that's my puppy. So he's crying, so I'm gonna go and play with him now. So, I mean, thanks if you watched this video just for listening. Yeah, so I'll see you around.